Welcome back to the Nickel and Dime Football Show. It was another weird week in the NFL, and at this point, I gotta think that it's probably going to continue to happen, being that it's about to be week 12. But thanks for checking in with us, man. We're gonna talk about everything that happened this past week, get you into week 12 matchups, man crush, one of my favorite segments, 3 and Out. Thanks for supporting us. Come on back. Make sure you like and subscribe, man. It's Nickel and Dime.
What a weird week indeed. Good teams keep losing to bad teams, and bad teams keep proving that they might not be bad teams. Is it just the year that everyone's just kind of like middle of the pack?
That's what seems to be kind of what's going on, man. It's like almost like no team wants to be great. Like, and I don't understand that, because like you have a lot of good teams that are losing to some cupcakes, man. And it's like, I mean, but there's also pride on the line. It is the NFL, so I get it, but a lot of parity, which in the end makes for a better product,
Yeah, no, for sure. I hate knowing, like, don't get me wrong, it doesn't help me when I'm trying to pick these locks or these man crushes.
Damn right.
Having to trying to have a decent fantasy football team at all. But it is very fun to watch when you just get down to the games.
Right.
So let's get into it. Follow my man Shawn on Twitter at the kid _Suds. Make sure to hit me up on IG at Laugh with Harrison. Shawn, Thursday, the Patriots just destroyed the Falcons. Yes. 25-0. They said, we're not even going to give you the 3 this time.
And what, I mean, like, Patriots, if I am not mistaken, are on like what, a 4 or 5 game win streak. They were sitting
7-4, my man.
Yeah,
5-0 from away from home. And Mac Jones goes on the road and wins.
Maybe they're just a road team. I mean, Belichick has his team prepared, and it is a defensive led. Like, make no mistake about it. Mac Jones will get the headlines, but this is the defensive led team. Oh, yeah. I mean, they are dominant right now. I mean, I think they had 4 sacks on Matt Ryan, 4 picks. And again, they're not asking Mac Jones to do too much, Drew. He actually had a rush.
They kept him to 40 rushing yards, though.
They did,
as a team, not just one person, just as a squad.
Right. And Mac Jones only efficient, bro. 22 of 26 for 207 yards and 1 touchdown. Like, just don't mess it up. Just don't mess it up.
Just don't. Hey, you're a rookie. Just don't mess it up.
Drew, what do you think about Atlanta? Because Atlanta was hot offensively, and they hit a wall on Thursday night. So, what you think about Atlanta right now?
I think they were, killing it with very few weapons. You know what I mean? Like, you got Gage, you got Pitts. Like Davis hadn't been anything this year.
Well, Patterson's been doing it up.
Patterson's been that Swiss Army knife for sure. Yeah. But I think they keyed in on the few weapons that they had.
Yeah.
And teams know how to beat the Falcons, unfortunately, right now.
Yeah. Yeah. And I was hoping, honestly, like, had they won this game, the Patriots have been so hot. Had they won this game, I'd have really thought the Falcons would have taken the kind of next step to elevate themselves even more into the playoff picture. But this loss kind of really hurts them in the playoff picture here.
But I mean, isn't that what the Falcons do? You know what I mean? Like, so staying true to form.
Touche.
Sorry, our resident Atlanta Falcons fan, Josh Rosenstein. Apologize, my buddy.
But he clicked off.
Yeah. Riverboat Ron picked up a win in Carolina.
Damn.
They didn't look bad. This was on the defense. I can't even I don't even feel like I can correctly judge the Carolina team, because Cam and the offense looked okay. You know what I mean? Like, they definitely couldn't figure it out when they had a couple 4th downs at the end of the game.
Yeah.
But a defense let Tyler Heineke throw for 206 yards and 3 touchdowns.
Bro, and that's the thing, is like, Heineke's just got a good grasp of the offense. I mean, honestly, like I wrote down, both of these quarterbacks are basically playing arguably very well in order to play for their 2022 contracts. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I mean, Heineke's technically supposed to be there, but had he not balled, they'd have been looking to replace him with that 2-year extension. You know what I'm saying? So like, yeah. I really appreciated that. 3 total TDs by Cam. So this is what Drew just alluded to. And honestly, like I gotta give a shout out to the Washington offensive line, man, because even though they'll give up some sacks, they make the plays when they need to be made, which allows Heinicke to throw for 300 yards and get these 3 touchdowns, which allows the running game. Like for a defense that's been as good as the Panthers has been, they rushed all over y'all. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
and I didn't see that coming.
You got to get in this year's NFL. If Cam Newton's not going to turn the ball over, you got to win for him. You have to.
Yeah.
My man didn't. He played really good football, and I know I haven't been as excited as I've wanted to have been the last few weeks, but Cam did his job. You know what I mean? So
yeah, he did.
It's on. You can't holding or putting up 21 points on Washington. You think you got the dub, but not the case.
Yeah. Well, it was back and forth that whole game, and I will say, I remember you mentioned a couple weeks ago you wanted to see Cam throw. Still not going super super deep, but he threw. I gotta acknowledge he threw a dot to McCaffrey for the touchdown. And that was a nice,
great catch on McCaffrey's part too, man. Like, wow,
yeah,
that just whole play. Well, what low key wasn't a good one, which I thought was Colts just put it on the Bills, man. Are the Colts for real? Is this Colts team for real? I mean, bro. I know Taylor's for real. 185 yards, 4 TDs. I think he added another one passing or receiving too, right? So
yes, man, 5 total touchdowns,
like 50 something points in fantasy.
I know he won some leagues. I was just glad that I wasn't playing him. You know what I'm saying? Like that's all I'm saying. But listen, Wentz just not messing it up.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like that's all it is. 11 for 20. 106 yards and 1 touchdown. If that ain't 106 yards. If that ain't a high school quarterback getting his Rudy moment, I don't know what is. You know what I'm saying? But I literally wrote down, are you even a real quarterback if those are your numbers?
Well, but he's doing the Tannehill impersonation this year. Turn around, hand the ball off.
yeah. Tannehill wish he could have did that yesterday, which we'll talk about in a second. But bro, I mean, like, honestly, like Jonathan Taylor has to be an MVP consideration. Carry the rock, carry the team. That's exactly what he did yesterday.
Yeah. Well, who else carried their team? Your boy, Tyler Huntley, gets the job done for the Ravens. It wasn't pretty, but he got it done.
Yeah. And I mean, he pulled it out. And honestly, like the way there's like we mentioned this before when we were on the Tyler Huntley train, you know what I'm saying? But like it just looks like a Lamar clone out there. Like I almost didn't even realize he wasn't playing. But the Ravens get it done, man. And honestly, you know, you talk about getting wins and staying relevant. Like this league is so close right now. Is so minute as far as the playoff race, which makes it exciting for us. But like Baltimore needed that game and they needed to pull it out because Chicago ain't going anywhere. They just wanted to win for pride. So like
Chicago finding a new coach. That's what Chicago's gonna be doing.
I heard somebody say today, if they lose to the Lions on Thanksgiving, it's a wrap.
Okay. I would love for that to be the cherry on this Nagy firing Sunday. I would be so pumped about that, losing to the Lions.
That, I mean, like, that's got to be a low. Like the 08-1 Lions or 09, whatever they are. They lost yesterday too, so it must be 09-1. But
they did lose to the Browns 13-10 yesterday.
Yeah. So, I mean, like, what do you think? I mean, Huntley threw the ball 36 times, man. I mean, what does that say about, you know, this machine that it is, you know what I'm saying?
The only thing that worries me about Baltimore is, yes, they have that next man up mentality, but unfortunately that next man up gets hurt. You know what I mean? Like Baltimore's bread and butter is rushing. And I'm just worried that they're going to have to rely on Mr. Jackson way too much because Freeman ran for 16 times for 49 yards and a touchdown.
Yep.
Murray had another 10 carries for 32 yards. So they're both averaged just over 3 yards a run. Yeah. Huntley came in with 40 yards and he only rushed at 7 yards. So he had a 5.7 average.
5.7. Yep. And
that's going to be tough come playoff time to do.
Yeah. And I was literally just like, you were kind of heading in that direction. And I wholeheartedly agree, man. Like your quarterback cannot be the leading rusher on your team. I get that that's what this offense is, but I think and kind of building on Drew's point here, you need more from the running backs, and you can't consistently have your tight end, Mark Andrews, be the leading receiver on your team. Like nobody's like, there's no real threat here. And like, I don't know if Bateman's just not ready or they don't believe in why. Like, I don't know what it is, but like they need somebody to be the X factor on this team in order for them to win a Super Bowl, put it that way, because they're going to the playoffs.
Yeah, for sure. 7-3 is going to get it done in the AFC.
Right.
But how far do you go in said playoffs?
If you can't win it all, like Drew said, maybe you shouldn't win anything. You know what I'm saying? Until you can win it all.
Now you're going to get a back end first round receiver again, and you're going to have the same questions. Typically,
not in the receiver market, but typically Baltimore does make use of picking in the later half of drafts. That's why they're always.
They've been doing it since they've been a team.
Exactly. You got to know how to do it. You got to know how to do it. So just defensively, switch sides.
Well, the Texans picked up their second win against the Titans.
Against those Titans, against the
I didn't pick this as a lot because I thought it was a toss-up, but I'm glad I didn't because I would have lost.
Yeah.
But you cannot ask Ryan Tannehill to throw the ball 52 times.
And not only that, but this was kind of the quintessential Tannehill, like what you didn't want from Tannehill, because like not only was this a winnable game, Drew, but he threw the bulk of his picks in the fourth quarter when it was time to win the game.
You never want to say the bulk of your picks because my man had 4.
Had 4 of them things. You know what I'm saying? Like, and he still had 300 yards. And like you said it, 52 times. The running game was not there. Like, and how crazy is it, Drew, that the Houston Texans get a win the week after Tyrod Taylor gets his feet wet? Like,
what would their record be if Tyrod Taylor was their quarterback? They've had to. He's got to at least get him 2 more wins, at least by himself.
That's what I'm saying. And like
they're sitting at 4 and 6, and that's still in the AFC right now.
Yeah. And that's the crazy thing, bro. Is just like it makes you wonder because like the guy just wins. He just wins, and like it seemed like everybody came to play, and I definitely think that was because this was a divisional matchup, and it's 4 versus 1. Yeah, it's 4 versus 1. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Well, chalk it up to another game of how did this happen? The Vikings beat the Packers. Vikings now sitting at 5-5 in the hunt as they do. Dalvin Cook got in the end zone, 86 yards. Rodgers threw for 4 touchdowns, so don't look at him.
It wasn't on the quarterbacks.
Nah.
It wasn't on the quarterbacks. Like the defense wasn't anywhere to be found in this game. And that's like the way that I kind of was like interested in that is because like that's the last thing I thought. Like I feel like the Minnesota defense has been pretty good. Yeah. The Green Bay defense has been pretty good, especially like here lately. Yeah. And that was exactly what you got. But Kirk Cousins is just different in the dome, man. Like at home, he's just.
I hate him so much.
He's kind of making both of us look a little silly here these last couple of weeks because I mean we've been shitting all over Kirk, and Kirk been balling, bro. Like
he could win MVP tomorrow, and I'd still be shitting all over Kirk.
Well, I mean, true, but like, is it warranted? That's the thing. No, but another 120 plus. And honestly, like this game, 120 plus rating, but this game really came down to who had the ball last. So I honestly think that it had the Packers not scored so damn quickly, and like, maybe they'd have won the game instead of just taking it all And like, I mean, what do you do there? Like, if you have the play and it's wide open, like, do you take it or do you try to eke out a methodical drive? Like, I gotta admit, Drew, there's now that I'm thinking about it, there's a part of me who is just like, did Aaron Rodgers' ego just make him want to go down the score real quick? You know what I'm saying? Like, did that happen?
It
Like,
did.
you score? Oh, you
Oh,
score?
okay.
Oh, I got you.
Okay.
I
All
got
right.
you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because that's definitely something that, like, I'm thinking about. I'm like, I would do that.
Yeah. Oh, no doubt.
Right.
All right. Another game. Surprised the Eagles of 5 wins. They beat the Saints 40-29. Is Jalen Hurts coming into his own with this offense?
Yeah, I definitely think so. And he's just kind of been building on his resume, man. Like, I feel like he'll give you a clunker, but there's always been signs. And like the signs were kind of evident like when he first came in and like caught gangbusters. And then like, some tape out on him. But yes, he is consistently getting better, but he's still a young quarterback, even though like his demeanor says that he's 35. So
right.
But I love it. Drew, Saints fans,
Ah.
we told y'all was done. We told y'all was done. I don't,
Simeon trying, man. My man's trying.
He is, man.
22 for 44, 214 yards, 3 touchdowns, 2 picks.
Yeah.
But then that hurts when Jalen Hurts runs in for 3 touchdowns. So
yeah, they had no answer for the Russian quarterback. And you did see, this is the thing that like I think kind of trends really, but it seems like teams who like have a skill set on offense, like they can't seem to defend that. You know what I'm saying? Like you would think that they would be good at stopping Russian quarterbacks because they practice against the guy that I'm blanking on his name, like the guy who's not playing.
Josh Rosen.
not the Saints. You know what I'm talking about.
Taysom
What's
Hill.
his face? Taysom Hill. Yes. That's how.
Stay tuned. We got some Taysom Hill news and
that is
later on.
how bad Taysom Hill is, or I believe he is. I forgot his name. But look, man, Simeon had another 40 attempts. You just like, even though he had the 3 touchdowns though, but he still threw 2 picks. And at this point, like this is a consistency. They're asking him to throw a lot. Do you think they're asking him to do too much, Drew?
I believe so and I believe it was out of necessity. You know what I mean? With Alvin Kamara out, you know what I mean? Like, I think if he's in the game, you see a lot more just like dump passes and little screens. You know what I mean? Because like Ingram turned the clock back a little bit, ran for 88 yards.
Yeah.
But if they had that 1-2 punch of him rushing the ball and Alvin Kamara being basically a wide receiver out of the backfield, I don't think you necessarily get Simeon throwing for 40 times.
40 times.
Because 2 out of 40, you know what I mean, from your backup quarterback, it's not bad. Like you don't want to limit those picks, of course, but Tannehill threw 4.
So, I mean, like when you don't take the sting of an interception off of it and you just go 2 or 40, you know what I'm saying? Like you were 38 or 40, like you passed. Yeah. But
38 times the other team didn't catch
it. So then, I mean, you're right, but this is the NFL, Jack. And those picks, they hurt, right, man. They hurt. And I honestly, great point by you, because like I was gonna say, like Mark Ingram arguably did what you needed him to do yesterday. Like he was rushing, but they kind of need Kamara back. They need him back bad. And I think when you get him back, then you start to see what Mark Ingram can still do. And then you add in, it's just like that. I don't think they're going to be any fall off from their rushing game from what they had 4 years ago when Mark Ingram was there with Alvin Kamara. Like you saw what they were capable of. I still think they are. They just got to get them back in the fold.
Yeah. And I think that's all that was. I'm not saying they win this game with Alvin Kamara, but I don't think Trevor Siemian has to do as much.
Exactly.
But good to see Sanders back. 16 carries for 94 yards. That was awesome.
Yeah. He seems to like playing against New Orleans. You know what it is.
Yeah. Well, Joe Mixon loved playing against the Raiders. Ran for 123 yards and 2 touchdowns. The Bengals, they said they're not done yet. 6-4. Clearly in the hunt in the AFC.
Clearly. And I do love Joe Mixon. Burrow didn't need to do too much, very efficient. And they like what at this point, like, why would you, if you can rush the ball, which apparently not a lot of teams can, but if you can rush the ball with some consistency, why would you even ask your quarterback to do too much? You know what I'm saying? Like, if you don't need to, like,
and are we not seeing better results? Like, don't get me wrong, you got your teams that have stud quarterbacks and you lean on them hard.
Yeah.
But are we not seeing more teams try to turn towards that? We're running the ball and playing defense, and our quarterback just doesn't need to make mistakes.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think that's honestly, like, we've been talking about, I feel like we've hit on that like the last like 3 or 4 weeks hard in multiple games with young quarterbacks, with quarterbacks who aren't that as established, and older quarterbacks like Ben Roethlisberger, not this past game. But and I kind of like to see it because you start to get to showcase these running backs, and everybody, like, 5 years ago, we're talking about devaluing the position, and you just see how important it is, and that's never going to happen. So,
right. Because as hard as it is I mean, you don't have to be an elite quarterback, but it's very hard to not make mistakes.
It is.
But then again, like, a giant human being running towards me, I might panic a bit too.
Yes, panic is real, and I think that's what it is, man. Like, that will cause you, and not like, Drew, it ain't just one, bro. It is 5, 6 a time.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
We had a former Titans, I can't remember his name, and I feel terrible about that, but we had a former Titans defensive tackle come into my work one time.
Yeah. I think he told me Jarrell Casey. Casey? It was Casey.
I think so. Yeah. He was moving from the Titans to the Patriots. And I think he was getting his dogs like shots before he left.
Yeah. All right. Anyway, yeah.
Yeah, but no, thank you. Like, I don't even want to get like pushed by that dude, let alone like him wanting to take my head off.
And you don't want it to be like, oh man, like when he pushed me, like, you don't want to be apologetic. Like, he pushed me, but he didn't know his own strength.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Because
that just means he had more,
yeah.
It just means he had more to give. And talking about panic, like, now I'm kind of going down the rabbit hole here, but I mean, like, the panic has to double because you're already elevated, right? But then these big ass human beings just got past the big ass human beings that were supposed to protect you,
and they see it in your eyes too. They're like, oh, it's like, if I would never run a marathon or for a anything like that, but I imagine I would turn it on just a smidge when I see that finish line. So if I get past the other big human being and I see the quarterback, I'm turning on them jets a little bit.
It's like the worst possible moment and they probably lock eyes when it happens too. Oh man,
you're done.
I'm scared now.
Right.
I'm scared now. But now, getting back to like the Raiders, talking about the Raiders, man, they need more than Darren Waller, Drew. And I'll let you get it on this. Josh Jacobs, 9 rushes for 37 yards, my guy.
Yeah. I mean, you gotta think that added to it. Because if Carr's throwing the ball 27 times, you gotta think Jacobs is going to pick up the slack. But I'm sorry, but 37 yards does not sound like picking up. And 18 of those yards came on one
play. Yeah. So
you got to think that my man, and Kenyon Drake, I mean, he didn't help, 23 yards, but
no,
it's sad when Hunter Renfro's get out averaging you and he only had 1 carry, but hey,
Well, and I guess, shout to the Cincinnati defense, because Cincinnati, when they lost those games, the defense was not looking good. So maybe, they're kind of getting back to it a little bit. And they didn't have, like, they only had 2 sacks, so not much production in a pick, but like collectively, obviously they did some good things. And maybe the Shawn is just starting to wear off the Raiders, bro. Like, I don't know what it is, but they need to win bad.
Don't you think they're a little concerned? Like, I can see them being a team that's kind of looking towards the future. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like we don't have a coach. We don't know if this quarterback's sticking around. Clearly, our defense needs some picks. I would be a head case if one of my teammates was going through, was doing what Ruggs did. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, like,
yeah.
That's got to be an off the field
Arnett
concern,
with
like,
and Arnett, you know what I'm saying? Like
so,
these are yeah. I and I didn't even think about that. Like I was thinking like just a pure football standpoint, but I think you might be right,
that's
man.
just
Like
got to be a weird locker
like
room right now.
it,
You know what I mean?
very weird, very weird. So like honestly, like at this point for them, I want a Raiders win. Like I want a Raiders win.
We're pulling for you.
You know what I'm saying? Like I'm kind of pulling for them because like that can start to take, just put some positive vibes in that air. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And they need it. They need it.
Yeah. We'll see. We'll talk about who needed it. The Chiefs keep their streak going. Looking like they are back. They got Edwards-Helaire back. Mahomes, a down game for him. He only threw for 260 yards in the pick, but he didn't need to do a lot because that defense stepped up, man. That Chiefs defense. Who did you think I'd be telling you that right now?
Listen, man, I did not, to be honest with you, but that's the thing is like especially against that offense, like they have to be happy with themselves, and that's kind of been this is kind of the pinnacle of what they have been building on the last couple of weeks. Like they have been like
Jones
that
defense
is
looking like a beast.
3.5 sacks. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that would 3.5. I think he had 3.5.
It's the Cowboys
of 5 total sacks. Well, they were missing Tyron Smith, so he didn't play.
They always seem to fill that gap though. Like anytime you hear about a prominent Cowboys offensive lineman out, they got some other dude who's just a star in the waiting that takes his place. But I guess they finally, as much as being a Carolina Panthers fan knows that a good offensive lineman is hard to find, I think they finally ran out.
Well, and maybe that's what it is because Connor McGovern didn't play good. Didn't play well. Lyle Collins didn't play well. So it's like they didn't rush the ball very well. Like they did, and I don't want to put it all on the offensive line, but because I have to give the Chiefs defense credit, they have been building on this last couple of weeks, and I think when you can hold this offense to 9 points, that should bode well for them kind of going forward as far as confidence.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I really think that could bode well for them, especially, just overall, because Pat Mahomes did not throw any touchdowns.
Yeah. Which is crazy to me. Like, if you would have told me, hey, Pat Mahomes didn't throw a touchdown, what do you think the outcome is? I'd be like, oh.
Loss. Yeah.
Well, real quick, let me paint a little scenario for you. Your team's 7-1. Coming off of a hard-fought loss to Green Bay. Your number 1 seed in the NFC, and your star quarterback goes down. And you're looking at a schedule that consists of the San Francisco, Carolina, and Seattle. And you just got to get to the bye week. Could Colt McCoy not have done a better job getting these guys where they needed to be as a backup quarterback?
Yeah. I am, and I'm sure, like, obviously there's other examples of backup quarterbacks doing great things, but recently, this one might be,
35 for 44, 328 yards, 2 touchdowns against the Seahawks.
Against the Seahawks,
who are now 3-7.
Done. Talking about Colt McCoy, because this game, like, I think that's what solidified it for me. Like, you know what you're getting every week, even though they're 3-7. Seattle is a tough out. Like they're a tough out. So
I don't want to play them right now.
No, for them, and like you never really want to play Seattle because, like, even though they're 3-7, you could lose the game. Like, I don't care how good you are, but 328 yards, 2 TDs. Drew mentioned it, but I think more so than anything, I'm impressed that Colt McCoy knows this offense that well that they can just almost interchangeable. It wouldn't minus the rushing.
He's practiced up.
Some might say, some might say the smart ones would say that. You know what I'm saying? And they didn't even really have much of a rushing game, Drew. I mean, like, James Conner tapped out with 62 yards. I mean, 3 yards a carry, and that was the high. You know what I'm saying? So Colt McCoy, it pays to have a good backup on your team.
You got to, man. Especially if you have a small mobile quarterback who's gonna get hurt.
Yeah.
Like I love watching Kyler Murray play, but to tell me he's going to make it through a season, I don't believe you.
Well, and that's the other thing. So like, I think good for Colt McCoy, because I think like he is now solidified. Like he's in there. Like he is.
They're not
in
in the backup
Nah,
quarterback.
they're not in the
Market
backup
right
quarterback market. So, but more importantly, Drew,
what
like,
a great team to be a backup for, though. Like you get to play 3-4 games a year. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, and still
you
get
have D
paid.
Hopkins, AJ Green, Christian
Weapons. Yep. This game, honestly, it was death by 1,000 cuts, because Seattle, like, they didn't make any real changes to the offense, and you can see it. Like 44 attempts, it wasn't like his yards per attempt wasn't super high, because they left the fucking underneath like wide open. Like it was just like they I don't know, like they're mainly still a cover 3 team, but like they were dropping out, and it like he's a professional quarterback. Like he's supposed to be able to make
in the
those
league for a hot minute.
Like, you know what I'm saying?
I remember when he was at Texas, man, watching him in college, he was great. And that feels like 20 years ago.
Offensively, though, we got to talk about Seattle, bro, because Russ, 207 yards, 0 touchdowns. Ofer. Like he put up an Ofer
for the second straight week.
And bro, like it seems like the Seattle offense is either run the ball, run it well, and then do play action, or don't run the ball as well this game and hope that Lockett or Metcalf can like break a play open, or there's a busted coverage and they get open deep. That's it.
It looks more and more like Metcalf is going through something. Man's having a troubling year.
Yeah. And it could be that. I mean, he out here like trying to have foursomes, getting called out on the line. Like I don't know, man. It might be something going on with that, man. He might need to figure it out, because his team needs him, and hopefully it ain't just not winning. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, someone who got we'll get out of here on this one. On the last recap of the week, Justin Herbert's back. Man threw for 382 yards, 3 touchdowns. He had a pick, but who doesn't these days? He also ran the ball for 90 yards, 9 carries for 90. Eckler only had 50. He had 2 touchdowns, but 90 yards. Like,
yeah. I love that. And this was an Eckler game, and I know because I was facing Eckler in fantasy. Eckler put up the same amount of points in fantasy that his team did in real life. He put up 41 on me.
Jesus, dude.
Yeah, 41. Ouch. So he might win them this game. But what a game. A game. And
that 53-yard touchdown, man. Wow.
Yeah.
Because who would have thought the Steelers would come back and put 27 points up the board in the fourth quarter?
Who would have thought? And like, honestly,
I thought the game was over. I was like, whatever.
Yeah, I thought it was over at halftime. Like I had to go back and kind of rewatch the tape, but 382 yards, 3 touchdowns. And I would say, like, with this game, it was a great game offensively. Anyway, offensively, there were some defensive lapses, which I think is how the Steelers came back. But the Steelers' offensive line, for as much as a question mark as it was, I think it kind of reared its head here, because they had less than 60 yards as a team rushing the ball. Ben was sacked like 3 times, but like more importantly, he was pressured at the worst times.
Yeah,
from what I saw. You know,
just not in the fourth quarter.
Right. Right. Yeah. So that was my real takeaways. And I got a question coming up in 3 and Out on this very set of teams right here based on what I saw. Yeah.
All right. Well, before we get into that, let's knock out some housekeeping notes real quick. Saints and Taysom Hill, your boy, agreed a 4-year deal. Get this, it's conditional.
I bet it will be conditional, because he is a conditional quarterback.
Well, that's the thing. He gets $40 million over 4 years if he continues to play the role he plays now. That's Swiss Army knife. If he, however, becomes the team's starting quarterback, that $40 million turns into $95 million.
Wow, the QB bump.
They threw the QB stipulation in his contract, unlike anyone signed, but he's a player unlike anyone's signed before. So 40 mil being the Swiss Army knife. Don't you think those passes are going to be a little more crisp in practice next week?
Oh, for sure. And it's a motivator. Look, bro, if you want this money, then you can be a quarterback. You know what I'm saying? You can be a quarterback. Stop lose some of that bulk. Get some of that bulk up here. That's what I'm saying.
Learn the damn playbook.
Right.
Jets rookie running back Carter, who I was super high on and has been having some great games lately. He's sidelined with an ankle injury, unknown timetable for him.
The dreaded unknown timetable.
The unknown in the middle of the season for a team that's not really winning. That's tough.
That's a tough spot.
That's tough. Your boy Gronk set to return to Monday night tonight.
Hey, let's go.
I couldn't imagine playing with ribs that weren't 100%.
Yeah.
Like if you still poked me and I hurt, I'd be like, nah, I'm good.
Yeah. Because you have to, like, your ribs, like, go up and down every time you breathe. So if it's hard to breathe.
Can you imagine, catching that pass and you see that safety out of the corner of your eye, like, ooh.
Yeah, because that's how his ribs got broken in the first place. Like that's exactly that. Like Brady was not having his best game, and Gronk tried to bail him out, and he got rocked. Like rocked.
I would be hearing footsteps the entire game, but oh god,
sound like Call of Duty headphone footsteps. You know what I'm saying? Loud as hell.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Lamar Jackson feeling better, hopefully to return this week. The Broncos and wide receiver Sutton agreed a 4-year extension worth $61 million. No conditions there. He's a wide receiver. He's getting paid when he gets paid. Packers offensive line Jenkins tore the ACL. Done for the year.
That's gonna hurt. That is gonna hurt them.
Yeah, that was really one of the only. I rely heavily on you when it comes to offensive line players.
Yeah,
that's one that I recognized. So I know they're in trouble.
Yeah. And honestly, what didn't last year during the playoffs, didn't they have some questionable offensive line issues? Because Bakhtiari was hurt last year, wasn't he? Not? I think
isn't that how y'all eliminated him? Like Russian,
that was one.
Made Rodgers on skates.
Yep.
Giants activate their offensive tackle Andrew Thomas.
He is not good. He has not been good. So if he wants to play, let him play. That's great. Hopefully he does not have the game of his life now that I said that. So
he's watching this now. This isn't going to come out before the game, but he's mentally be like, all right,
Andrew, chill out, bro. Chill out.
All right, let's get to my favorite segment, 3 and Out. Shawn, why don't you take it away on first down?
All right, man. So we just alluded to it here, but honestly, like straight up, Drew, more encouraging. LA Chargers finally looking like they're getting back to the early season success, or Steelers offense resurging and showing signs of explosiveness that are still there. Which one is more encouraging? Be unbiased here. That's all I'm asking.
I can't do it. No, I mean, you got to be excited about Pittsburgh showing them some life for the first time. You know what I mean? Like that if I was a Pittsburgh fan, I would be super pumped about that fourth quarter. But why did it take until the fourth quarter? You know what I mean? Like that's upsetting. You can't do that. Like the Chargers have let some teams hang around this year, and it showed again. So both of them have me excited, but cautiously. You know what I mean? Like I don't know if the Chargers are all the way back because again, what have we been talking and stressing? Your quarterback cannot be your lead rusher. Like I'm not as worried about it with the Chargers because Eckler will bounce back. You know what I mean? But
I mean,
there's no plan B in that on that team. You know what I mean? Their other running backs haven't panned out the way they thought they would. And they cannot start trying to have Herbert be a Josh Allen because he is a pocket passer. He just had a good rushing.
Who can run. Yes. Who can run. Yeah. So great.
But I would say the Chargers. I'd say Chargers look more promising.
Okay.
Because I think their problems are more easily fixed. I know that's terrible grammar.
No. But like they've been showing it earlier this season, whereas Pittsburgh hasn't. So I think, especially for where the Chargers are at and where their trajectory is, I think it is more important overall.
Yeah.
But I
That
had to
slow
ask
start's
because
got me worried, man. That slow start, like
yeah,
only
yeah,
putting up 10 points in the first half against a Chargers defense that has shown that they're not that great. You know what I
yeah,
mean? Like that's tough.
yeah, yeah.
And
So
then to let you got them on the ropes, and then you let a 51 or 50 something yard touchdown pass with 2 minutes left in the game. Like,
yeah, that was just, it was like a lapse, and it's like you should be at the height of your attention span at that point in the game, like
2 minutes
considering.
left, bro.
Yeah, yeah, you would think,
You would think, hey, the Carolina defense did it too, so whatever.
happens.
Who is better prepared? Second down for you. Who is better prepared to win a playoff game? Baby Burrow or Mac Jones?
Oh man, I think it's got to be Mac Jones, only because of what he has in the building. Like, you know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? Like that, they will have him prepared.
Are you saying he's got a coach that could guide him through this? What?
He does have a coach who's got a little bit of experience. But at the same time, like if Mac Jones was not in this similar situation, I go Burrow, honestly, because Burrow has just as many big game experiences as Mac does, back to their college days. Maybe like, because Mac is at Alabama, but the year that Joe Burrow was there, championship. He also played at Ohio State. You know what I'm saying? So like, he's no stranger to the moment. Without the coaching, I'd go Burrow, but because of what's in the building, I
The
gotta go
Belichick factor.
the Belichick factor, bro.
That's fair.
The hoodie. Go with the hoodie.
That is fair. I like it. All right, what you got? Third down.
Third down. Which top? I think you're gonna let it go right.
Yeah.
All right. Which top team is more smoke and mirrors, Drew? Buffalo,
Ooh.
Tennessee,
Ooh.
Green Bay,
Mm.
or Cleveland?
Oh. I'm gotta say Cleveland because their own fans were booing them.
Damn. Yesterday that was booing.
Yeah, Baker. They got asked. Baker got asked about fans booing him. He's like, I don't care. So that's a little scary.
Good answer.
To me. Like,
yeah.
I am concerned with the Packers. Jones. They clearly showed they need Jones. Dylan did fantastic, but I think they work better as a tandem.
Right.
And then that defense regressed a little bit. So they could be smoke and mirrors strictly for they've been posting this defense in front of us, and that defense didn't show up yesterday. So I am concerned with the Packers' long-term playoff suggest, but
had to put them in there.
I think you got to hit the panic button if you're in Cleveland right now.
Yeah, because it's just not going the way you thought it was going to go, and like it ain't really injuries. It ain't really like
no, and their schedule's not
like
yeah. And their schedule's about to get tough.
And that ain't what Cleveland fans want to see, bro. That ain't what they want to see.
Let the record show Nickel and Dime was full on ready to support Cleveland this year.
Oh, and still are.
They just haven't pulled up their side of the business.
Nah, they have not held up their end of the bargain. And maybe this is what, like, over the course of decades, people just stopped believing in the Browns because they just kept doing stuff like this. But
I mean, all of those teams you named, I'm concerned about Buffalo's run game. You know what I mean? Giving up big plays. They didn't stop the run for nothing.
Yeah, Josh Allen not playing that well. Like,
Diggs is trying to show up, but he's got to have his quarterback turned around. You know what I mean?
Yeah. All right, what you got? Fourth down.
Fourth down. I'm going.
Third down? Is it third down?
No, it's fourth down. I'm going for it.
Is it four? Top
yeah.
All right.
Next year is Russell Wilson a Seahawk?
No, he is not. Oh,
is Pete Carroll a Seahawk?
Oh, yes, because Russell's
that presser was weird.
Yeah,
that press conference was weird.
Well, and at this point, I really think it's one or the other.
Do you think they hate each other? Do you think they gotten to a point where they just don't get along anymore?
I think it's kind of one of those things where it's like they're probably still cordial because they're nice guys or whatever.
Yeah.
But I think the relationship it might be a little frayed because it's like I don't know. Like Pete Carroll just looks like a very like ho hum. Like yes, let's go get him. Like
Russell's like, shut up, dude.
Yeah, like and like Russell as nerdy as he is, but like I think there's some disingenuousness going in there. Like they're cool, right? Like to each other's face, but like they just don't trust each other anymore. And I think at this point it's a one or the other. So Russell already said that like he was already lobbying to get out this past off season. So I think this off season is more the same. They let him go, and because of that, one left, you have to keep the other one because you don't want to be without a quarterback and a coach.
Yeah, but Carroll's like 82 years old.
He is, but he looks 50. So, maybe that counts for something.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Right. I don't know, man. That's a tough sitting as a Seahawks GM. If they both came in your office, like one of us has to go.
Yeah.
I'd be like, Mr. Carroll, thank you for your service. But then again, Russ hadn't playing well. But I don't know, man. I don't know.
All right. Look, well,
very interesting offseason headed Seattle's way.
Drew, I have a extra question here for you.
Bonus
I don't know.
Question.
Maybe they didn't.
Bonus
They messed up the downs. I don't know. So you getting another
play is under review.
Under review. So we're gonna do it like this. And it is a Panthers based question, but listen.
I'm scared.
CMC admittedly is one of the best all-around weapons.
I love hearing you say that.
In all of football. But in order for Carolina to take the next step, Drew, do they need more from CMC as a pure runner?
No, because I'm taking this chance to double down. My man needs to be in the slot from here on out. Put that man in the slot. Let him catch the ball. He clearly shows he's great at it. Great hands. Stop getting that man beat up in the backfield.
Oh my God.
Put Chuba in there and stop with this nonsense.
Oh my
CMC
God.
is not a running back. Should be a slot wide receiver.
I can almost see you like being at the games, just the shovel, you know what I'm saying, knee deep in Miller Lite, because that's probably what they sell there. And just being like, put him in the slot.
He's a receiver.
Put him in the slot.
Just stop running the ball.
Spit coming out and stuff, you know what I'm saying? Dying on that hill.
Security's like, you got to leave. Not until I talk to the coach.
I would love to see it. No, I wouldn't, because I'll probably be with you when we get kicked out. So
you were banned from Bank of America Stadium. All right, let's get into our man crushes. Who we crushing on this Sunday? Shawn, let's start with the unsung heroes. What defense do you have this week?
Defense, I am going quickly and really just kind of based on a matchup here. I'm going with Dallas. I'm going with the Dallas defense this week because I think, honestly, they are going to kick the Vegas Raiders while they're down. Like, I think that's probably going to happen.
Do we smell a get right game?
Yeah. A get back game, maybe. And then I saw, like, after I asked you the question, like kind of a throwback after I asked you about the 10 picks and our other 3 and out, somebody's gonna have more than 10 picks. I did see Trevor Diggs get another pick that next week, so maybe he gets another one this week,
inching closer to that 10 mark.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. All right, well, I got the Eagles. Philly showed me something against New Orleans. They play the Giants. I think it's more of a matchup for me, but I just wanted to take the time to give the Philadelphia Eagles, a little bit of a shout out because
I got you.
I feel like our buddy Paul would be excited about that.
Oh yeah. Philadelphia fans excited anytime you talk about their team, good or bad, because if it's bad, they just going like hate watch. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, like it's just kind of one of those things. But all right. So where you want to go next?
Let's go. Let's just work our way up the board. I got I'll go tight ends. And I got Austin Hooper for Cleveland. Playing against Baltimore. Process of elimination. You know what I mean? I don't think they got too many weapons. I think Baker's going to look for those wide open spots with Hooper in the middle. And I foresee them being down, so I think they're going to have to throw the ball too.
I feel like they should utilize the tight ends more. Like, it's definitely a receiver.
He was a leading receiver He was the leading receiver for him last week. So
all right, well,
we'll see.
But I don't know if that's like if it's by design.
Oh, I'm
You know
sure
what
it's
I
not
mean?
by design.
Right.
But
That's what I'm
I can
saying.
see. I don't think Cleveland's really doing a whole lot by design right now per se.
Just winging
Anyway,
it.
so
Yeah.
I got Hooper having another good game, even though maybe Cleveland doesn't.
All right. Well, I am going with the man, the myth, the legend when he's playing, because he's playing right now. George Kittle. I'm going with
Ooh,
George Kittle.
okay, all right.
Yeah, he looks all the way back to me. Like he looks
He's a
all the way
beast,
back.
man.
So I like I had to get him in there, to be honest with you. I had to get him in there.
I love that he's a big pro wrestling fan.
I
favorite
mean,
part about
he looks the part of a pro wrestling fan.
There's a Mexican luchador named Pentagon, and they're become good friends. And Pentagon's got a El Cero Miero, no fear, or zero fear. And so Kittle has started doing that when he gets like first downs and touchdowns.
Nice. Yeah, that's a nice heartwarming story.
Right.
I love a good friendship, man. I don't know what it is.
An odd friendship.
An odd friendship.
I love it.
Yeah.
Love it. All right. Who you got as your running back?
Running back. I don't hate me for this, Drew, but I got Antonio Gibson, man. Like 2 weeks in a row, this man has run on good defenses.
He's been on my bench both of those games.
Oh, yeah. Hey, don't do it again.
No. Well, I'm gonna put him in this week. He's gonna be terrible.
Yeah. I think, but no, I mean, but he's facing the Seattle defense, who has not been good.
Fair enough. You won me over.
You're right. The scheme, I think it's more scheme based, but this dude is like he might be defense proof at this point, at least as far as consistency is concerned. I like what I see. Who you got?
I like it. I got DeAndre Swift. He is a great player on a bad team, and they're playing on Thanksgiving. They're playing against Chicago.
Somebody's got to go
put up 136 yards last week. Like, I see him getting the ball because they sure don't want it in the hands of their quarterback. So, maybe Swift has a great Thanksgiving.
Yeah, and I think, man, did I see like we gloss over Detroit because that's what most people, places, and things do. Did they ask him to throw the ball a lot last week?
They had a whole different quarterback.
That's what I'm saying. Like, and they asked Boyle to throw the ball a lot of times. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, just hand it to Swift. And Swift still had 136, right? Like,
130 and a touch.
That's what I'm saying. So, like, he should have had 400 yards.
All right, you ready for Tim Boyle's stat line?
Yeah.
15 for 23.
Okay, all right. Yeah, I thought it was way more than that.
77 yards, 2 picks, a QBR of 6.7.
Yuck. That is.
Do you think they're missing Jared Goff by now? And what's crazy is they lost by 3 points. I dare I say Jared Goff might have won this game.
Wow. Yeah. I think Goff puts him over the top. Like, I think he might have put him over the top.
At this point, if you're 0-9-1, just get that first pick, man. Just get the first overall pick. You got 2-game lead. Jacksonville's got 2 wins. Houston's got 2 wins. Yep. And it looks like Houston might get some more.
I was about to say Houston's on their way to maybe 4 wins, like 4 wins, 5 wins.
So just sit back. Get that 1 win for the fan base.
Yeah.
Maybe on Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
And then just call it a year.
We haven't, I definitely haven't started looking at draft picks, man. But from what I understand, this quarterback class is not where you want to be.
The top pick, the Heisman favorite, got benched, and his replacement became a Heisman favorite. The Oklahoma quarterback. So this is going to be a weird draft. I think that defensive end from Oregon is like one of the only sure shots in this draft. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sure there's some gems out there, but that's all. Right. How by now we've heard about 4 or 5 prospects.
Right.
You know what I mean? But he's all I've heard about.
Yeah. And I can't wait to get into it because I think this draft is going to be more interesting because it won't be quarterback.
Well, you get a lot more depth this year. I don't know if we have the Jamar Chases or the Micah Parsons. You know what I mean?
You know who's going to find out? nickel and dime gonna find out for y'all. That's what I'm saying. We're gonna find out. We will let you know.
We shine around draft time.
Yeah, we love that. So get it here. Get it here.
Well, who you got as your wide receiver?
I gotta go with the boy Cooper Kupp, man.
Get him
right back in that lineup. Right back.
That's an interesting matchup too for him.
Yeah, well, like Rams, like they're going to have to go through a shootout, I believe. Like, and let's say the Rams run away with it. Green Bay, LA defensively is like stymieing those boys. Green Bay is going to have to pass. Like, I think it either way, regardless of the game script, it's going to be a passing show.
So, no doubt, because Henderson is not going to get it. Like, he'll have 60 yards, maybe.
No,
you know what I mean. Dylan will have 60 yards, maybe.
Well, that's what I'm saying. And like, honestly, I think if Green Bay starts to pass more, Matt Stafford ain't letting that go down. Like,
Stafford's got a chip on his shoulder too. Yeah. Stafford's had a couple bad games. He's going to come out slinging.
Thank you. Get Cooper Kupp in your lineup because he's going to eat.
I got DJ Moore. I got the homie DJ Moore playing Miami. Cam seems to like him.
Yeah.
Cam's showing me a little something with that shoulder. You know what I mean? I'm not sold on it. Him being the passer that he once was, because he wasn't ever like a prolific passer. You know what I mean? So
there's got to be more deep shots for you.
I think DJ Moore's coming into his, like, he's been our guy. You know what I mean? And it looked like Robbie was going to be his favorite there for a little bit for those little under routes, but it looks like Cam's building a rapport with the receivers. So I got him against Miami.
I like that, man. I like that. He hadn't really burned me like that. Yeah. So like, I'm still kind of a DJ Moore. I'm a DJ Moore fan.
I like DJ Moore. I love DJ Moore. He's not been the problem. That is for sure. I like Curtis Samuel. I wish Curtis Samuel wouldn't have left, but
whatever. Yeah. I got you. So that leaves
QB1.
QB. And interestingly enough, I'm taking the lob here. I'm taking the alley-oop. Give me Matt Ryan, man. Give me Matt Ryan against
I did not think the alley-oop and Matt Ryan would have been the same sentence, but hey.
Yeah. I think Matt Ryan, for as good as he was playing before this debacle, they're going to want to get back. They're going to want to get back to what they were doing offensively a couple weeks before. I don't know if Patterson's playing. I don't know what his injury status is, but I would look for Matt Ryan to have a get right game. You know what I'm saying? Because Jacksonville ain't it. And I think Atlanta's a better team. So
I got you. Well, I got Josh Allen returning to form, playing against New Orleans.
Wow.
I think they put up some points.
All right. And they need it, man. I think Bill's Mafia.
I think Josh Allen's going to get hyped. He's going to eat some wings. He's going to jump through a table. He's going to be ready to go.
Yeah. They need it, man, because like what did Buffalo drop? Like they were where's Buffalo sitting at right now? Oh, they're still no.
I mean, all the top teams fell. So
but Buffalo was like 1 or 2.
They're 7th.
They're 7th.
Oh yeah, because the Patriots are winning the division right now. That's crazy.
Yep. So
wow,
what a fall from grace.
Mac Jones is in first place.
Yeah. Yep.
Look at that guy.
Indy surging. Indy is surging right now, man.
All right.
Stay tuned. We're going to talk about it.
Well, let's get into our matchups. Shawn, go ahead with your matchup of the week.
Drew, listen, man, like maybe, and count on me for this, but maybe my matchup is not what everybody thinks that I'm going to say right here. But honestly, a very marquee matchup for me. San Francisco versus Minnesota next week, bro. San Francisco.
Didn't see that coming. All right.
Yes.
It's aesthetically pleasing. The gold and red, the purple, the yellow, the green.
Right.
You know?
I'm with it. I'm with it. And the reason why is because both of these teams are sitting at 5-5 right now. And this is honestly a very important game as far as the bottom part of the playoff seeding.
Getting those last few spots.
Yes. And I honestly think like after next week, this team, whoever wins this game, will firmly be in the playoff picture as a wild card spot. And that bodes well for your confidence. You know what I'm saying? I hope
currently sitting at 6 and 8 respectively.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, who?
Vikings and 49ers.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So like
that's crazy.
this is so like whoever wins is like in the playoffs right now. Bodes well for your confidence. Still some games to play. I don't know who has a tougher schedule after this game, but listen, I thought San Fran was dead, bro. I thought they were dead. You know what I'm saying? And they are
Garoppolo
back
said no
at 5-5, making some moves, and they look like a saucy team. And it's honestly, I think it's a resurgence of their defense. Like their defense was porous at the beginning of the season. Now, talking about the Chiefs defense coming up, San Francisco's been playing a lot better. Maybe getting healthy. Minnesota's also on a 2-game winning streak. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Dalvin Cook getting touches, Cousins figuring it out.
And Minnesota just beat 2 good teams too. You know what I'm saying? Like they just beat 2 teams. The key for this game, can Kirk Cousins continue his hot streak? But Minnesota is number 1 in sacks, right?
Ooh,
Minnesota's number 1 in sacks. Jimmy G don't do well under pressure, but San Francisco's defense is also 3rd as far as pass yards given up per game. So maybe they can, right? Like you wouldn't think so.
Each other.
Right. Yeah. So it should be a very interesting matchup. I don't know who wins, but
I don't want to have to pick that game. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Well, my matchup of the week, man, I got the Pittsburgh Steelers at the Cincinnati Bengals. Because both these teams, for the same reason you just picked, both these teams are currently in the playoffs. You got the Bengals sitting at the 5 seed. Oh, because of that tie and the Chargers winning, the Steelers are now on the outside looking in, but they're right there. They're right there.
Yep. All it takes is a win. But
if the Bengals want to be in the playoffs, this is a game they got to win.
Yep. Divisional game. Like they got to have it. And I guess at the beginning of the season, 1, nobody thought Cincinnati was going to be here, but 2, it's Big Brother that's on the outside looking in.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. And, Bengals are inside right now, staring at them like,
yeah. And so I really want to see who kind of wins this game. Who is at home?
Cincy.
That's better. But it's not that far from Pittsburgh, and Pittsburgh fans travel.
They travel.
So, so maybe that negates it. But this is a pretty interesting matchup. I'll be honest with you.
Yeah.
Pretty interesting matchup.
I'm excited about it. Well, I will let you introduce our marquee matchup of the week. This is one we both had our eye on, so take it away, sir.
Marquee matchup for this week for the Nickel and Dom show has got to be Tampa Bay Buccaneers versus the suddenly red hot Indianapolis Colts. And Indy's at home on this one. So people tend to run faster on turf. I don't know, like Bucks, y'all need to be ready for John Taylor, bro, because he is coming. Like he's coming.
And little we were just talking about point differential. The Colts are sitting at a +64 on a 3-game win streak, a half game out of playoff contention.
Yeah, and that's what makes it that much more important for them, because they are on the outs looking in. You know what I'm saying? Like, and this is the team that I thought that they could be. Shout to me, pat me on the back right here, because your boy said that the Colts were going to the playoffs. I didn't actually have them winning this game, but I still thought they were a good team. I thought you would get more from Carson Wentz, but you're not getting that.
I did not know 2021 would be the year that Carson Wentz became a game manager.
Yeah. And like, I thought John Taylor was still maybe another year out from doing what he's clearly doing right now.
Superstar. He's got to be an MVP consideration. I'm not saying they'll give it to a running back. He might win Offensive Player of the Year, but
yeah, and honestly, that's what this game comes down to for me, is like, we know they want to run the ball. Can Tampa make the Colts change their blueprint? Because right now it's clear, run the ball, ask Carson Wentz not to do too much. If Tampa can do that and like put it on Carson Wentz, I think they win the game. You know what I'm saying? And it could be.
I can see y'all getting to the quarterback.
Could be handily. Well,
how y'all doing against the run?
That's what I'm saying. If we stop the run, that's what I mean. It changes up their blueprint, because they're going to run the ball. And not only that, does Tampa have to do that, but like Tampa's got to run the ball as well. They have not been running the ball as well as they've needed to be. I don't know, Drew, what you looking forward to in this game before I go on too much?
I don't want to say this on camera, but it's the lesser of the two evils for me. I'm excited to see
Right.
Mr. Shaq Barrett and Mr. White just celebrating because they just murdered Carson Wentz on the field.
Yeah. I would love to see that. That would be great. That would be great for me personally, but that means more success for my team. More of this great face.
But no, I am excited to see, can Taylor do this against this team? You know what I mean? Like, is he that next level? Is he continue to just put up those numbers against some pretty good, like, y'all's front seven is ridiculous. You know what I mean? Like,
they haven't been playing like it though. That's the problem.
But on paper.
Right. Yeah. And like I said, I talking about the
Can
Bucs
Mike Evans have a ridiculous game, please? Jesus.
I think honestly, like, if it's one thing for certain, I don't know what Mike is sitting at, like, yards wise, but come the end of the season, just like last season, Mike Evans is getting 1,000 yards. Like, Tampa is going to get him 1,000 yards. So he's and honestly, it's got to be the yards, because I know it's not the touchdowns for you.
Oh, I know. Yeah. I know.
It's not the touchdowns. He scores touchdowns.
Everybody else is getting
yards. Yeah. But I think another key to this game is the Colts are largely healthy. Who does Tampa get back? Like, are they getting back some players from injury here? I mean, Sean Murphy-Bunting, I think, is going to play tonight. You know what I'm saying? I want to know what how he looks, but then I want to know what the deal is on Carlton Davis. Like,
That's
was on
short-term
That's
the stud
IR.
of that group.
Yeah, like, and by all means, if he ain't healthy, sit him, because we're gonna need him for the playoffs. Right. But we still got to win games. You know what I'm saying? So, like, and Vita went down, but he's not out for the long term. So where we at with that? Because we're gonna need him. We're gonna need him.
I heard Vita Vea is still trying to get his jersey off from the Green Bay game.
It took a lot. It took a lot.
That poor guy, man. Yeah, he had every equipment manager on the field trying to get him out of that jersey. Poor guy.
I mean, sometimes you just got to be a large human being.
Those pads in the jersey are no joke. You know what I mean? Like, I can't imagine trying to. I would look like I would never take I'd be like, hey, I'm going to the locker room. I'll be back. Yeah. You know what I mean? I wouldn't stay out there where cameras are trying to get out.
I just live in this now.
Hey, can we swap jerseys?
Can't do it, man.
I'll mail it to you. Yeah, you can give me yours now, but I'll mail it to
you. Like, they get it in the mail and be like, man, what is this jersey? It's cut. Like, man, I had to get it off, bro.
Oh, you don't cut your jerseys to get out of them? I thought that was standard practice.
Yeah. SOP. Nah, man, but I honestly, at the beginning of the game, at the beginning of the season, I thought this was going to be a win. I don't really know.
Colts are on fire.
Point.
You know, NFL's a game of momentum, and the Colts have it right now. So,
both teams need it.
Yeah. Well, let's get into these locks.
Let's do it.
Because, man, we collectively are bad.
we made some bad takes this past week. I was
the Bills will beat the Colts. Guarantee it.
Yep. And who did I have? I think I had
Vikings losing the Packers.
Vikings. Yeah. Like, Kirk Cousins a baller at home. He just I mean, I should have figured out who was playing.
You're sitting at 11-8 because we don't know what Monday night brings. You picked the Bucs to beat the Giants. I'm sitting at 11-9 because I was 2 games behind you, and I gained 1 on you because I picked the Raiders to lose to the Bengals, thankfully.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go ahead and declare it. I'm going to go ahead and throw it out there because some Carolina fans have been doubting my fandom because I'm not as excited about Cam as they are. So I'm throwing it down. Carolina will beat Miami this week. How's that for being a Carolina fan? Huh?
Huh? That's a pretty good stand, because, like, I thought about choosing that game and I was like, nope.
Oh, I'm scared to death of picking.
Yeah. It looks like it might be
a trap game.
Yeah, well, I don't even know that it's a trap because, like, honestly, at this point, I feel like I know what I'm going to get from Carolina. I have no idea what I'm getting from Miami.
Tua's playing. I hate to say it, playing pretty good.
Yeah, he is, and that's what I'm saying. Like, I just don't know what I'm getting from week to week with them.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So do not pick. For me, that was your winner, right? That was your winner.
Yes.
My winner, I don't think I picked this team this year, but I'm going with the Philadelphia Eagles.
Ooh.
Talk about showing the Eagles some love. They looked very good in a convincing win against the Saints. I think that carries over into 2 weeks in a row, and they parlay that into a divisional win over the Giants.
Nice. And I mean, I heard it from Mara. He's looking forward to the draft anyway, so he doesn't care if they lose again. So he's good.
All or nothing.
I think he does want to win tonight just because it's Tampa Bay, but after that, he doesn't care if they keep losing.
Yeah. Well, if hey Mar, if y'all get a dub, come on here and talk.
We're
shit.
Definitely getting him on if the Giants pull out this win. All right, who you got losing? Guaranteed to lose this week.
Losing. I don't think you ready for this one, man. I really don't think you ready for it. LA Rams getting a loss this week. LA
Continue
Rams.
that slide, huh?
Yeah, man. And that's the thing is like I think Aaron Rodgers put up numbers in a loss. The Packers are at
and home. I sat him on the bench.
The Packers are at home. It's cold outside. Like LA's got to travel. You know what I'm saying? Like the defenses for the Packers is resurgent. I think if they get into a shootout, who is more likely to make a mistake? Matt Stafford.
Yeah,
and I think
he's been making them
right. And I think that is in the end what cost him this game. Aaron Rodgers don't really make mistakes like that unless he's under duress. You know what I'm saying? So if they can get home, especially with Jenkins being out, that could be the leveling.
Watch this thing. This game's gonna be like 42-38, and it'd be like 6-3.
Yeah. Yep. As long as the Rams lose, I don't care. You know what I'm saying? It could be 9-6, just like earlier when the Jags won against the Bills.
I got you. All right. Yeah. Just a little side note for would you rather? Are you more worried about facing the Rams or the Cardinals in the playoffs as a Bucs fan?
Rams.
Okay. Because superstar talent.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. And innovation. Like I think in it's probably only because like we've played the Rams more often, but like McVay just seems to have Todd Bowles' number, man. I don't know what to do about that.
That's fair. Yeah. Well, I mean, to be fair, McVay's got a lot of people's numbers, just not the last few teams he's played. All right. This burnt me before. They've burnt me already when I picked them to lose, and then they have a great game. I am picking the Tennessee Titans to lose to the New England Patriots. Okay. I think the Patriots keep rolling. Yeah. Titans scared me. That defense is not ready to be number one in the AFC. It's like hot potato, man. You know, the Bengals were number one. They're like, we don't want it. Yeah. You know? And then, the
way in the NFC
Ravens were up there, the Bills, the Chiefs, nobody wants to be the best team in the AFC right now.
Yeah, man.
And it's going to make for great playoffs, and I can't wait.
I want consistency from the top teams. I think at that point, I that's what I want, because I feel like if you get it from 2 or 3 top teams, then the rest of the teams will follow suit. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So like that is what I want. That's what I want.
I love it, man. I want there to be a 10-way tie for 7th seed. You know what I mean? Like I want the chaos.
Well, of course. I mean, like honestly, I do too, as long as my team's not in that.
Yeah, you're gonna win the South, man. Like I don't really see a team really like it, because we called it, but you still wanted to see it, before you got excited about it. Simeon and the Saints, not fit, not doing enough to win. Yeah. Cam and the Carolina, we plugged that quarterback hole, and then the defense lets us down. You know what I mean? Right. And then the Falcons gonna be the Falcons. So I think you're gonna be okay.
Yeah, and that's the. I just been burned before, man.
I hear you. Like with the Bucks, football, man. Nothing's certain. Nothing's certain. And I don't name a team right now. Is there a team out there in this crazy shit show of the season?
Right.
Is there a team right now that if you were their fan, you'd be like, I feel great?
Ooh, yeah. Let me look at the playoff contenders here quickly. But right now, honestly, damn, like not really. No. I'll give you this. I feel like I would feel great if I was a New England fan and for as much as I talk crap about them, and if I was a Kansas City fan too.
Yeah, I was about to say, man, watching that game last night, there was just a calm that came over
Yeah.
Laura. She's just like, let's think about the playoffs now.
Yeah.
You know,
it's like they got, but like that's how much of a statement when it was for as rocky as the season has been up until this point.
They still beat the Cowboys.
They beat the Cowboys, and the Cowboys, by consensus, are a good to great team, and they put
one of the best in the NFC.
And they put it on them. So that is a very good showcase of
God knows. One down year. That's all we got out of New England was one down year.
That was it.
Good God,
that was it. And I say that, but like I would honestly,
how pissed off would you be as a Buffalo fan?
Pissed. Yeah. It's got to burn so much. Actually, all flights from Buffalo to New England are canceled. You just can't go. You can't come into the city. Like they have. Yes, you can't come. But not like honestly, like for New England, though, like talking about New England, I would feel better if I was a Kansas City fan than if I was a New England fan. But for what you are seeing out of your young quarterback, they're not going to win the Super Bowl. Man. But at this point,
maybe in a few years.
Yep, everything you want to see.
And imagine if they spend this offseason like they spent last offseason. You know, I mean, I don't know about salary cap or if that's even possible, but what if they keep building on this?
Yeah, and I think
Patriots going to be scary.
They will. But in the draft, though, and you know they
that's what they do.
They get good players in the draft. So
they find that I didn't know Harris or Stevenson. You know what I mean? Like I don't.
We call Kyle Duggar though, local kid. We call that.
Local.
But yeah, man. So
love it. Well, that's our show, Shawn. Hit up those social medias. What you got?
At the Kid Suds on Twitter, at nickel_Dom FB, of course, on the same platform, Twitter, and at the illustrious nickel_Dom football on IG, baby. Hit us up, like and subscribe, man. Let's go.
Subscribe. Hit me up on Instagram at Laugh with Harrison, Twitter Harrison_comedy. Yeah, I made it different. I made it difficult. I'm sorry. I apologize. I was a young kid. I didn't know what I was doing. But like, share, subscribe. See you next week.